Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video I want to talk about the harvest. So in case you don't know, harvest has been changed with League, so that now when you encounter harvest in the maps, you no longer get a list of crafts to use after you kill the monsters. Now instead we are dropping the Lifeforce from the monsters, and then this Lifeforce you can use on certain crafts. On top of that, we lost some of the most powerful crafts like reforge item key prefixes or keep suffixes. So overall it is a nerf to harvest crafting, but you can still make some money, especially now, instead of having to know what crafts to use on what items. Now you can just farm harvest for Lifeforce, and then you can sell this Lifeforce to other people that are using it on certain crafts. So in today's video I want to show you the results of a test that I did, one with low investment and one with high investment into harvest, because that's actually the biggest result of this change. Now, like previously, when you were farming harvest, you didn't care about like map, pack size and quantity in your map, because you would always get the same amount of crafts. And now, thanks to quantity and pack size, you can drop more Lifeforce. So like I said, I did two tests, one with high investment and one with low investments, and each one of them was with 50 maps. So first, let me talk about the low investment strategy. So low investment is basically without having a guarantee that you will have harvest in your map. If you set your atlas this way, you have on average around 30 to 40% chance, I don't know exact math, but on average you will find harvest once in 3 maps, but that harvest is gonna be free. And to get that, first thing, you will obviously take all of the harvest nodes for 1% chance per point for additional harvest, so these points in here and some of them in here. On top of that, 4% from Call of the Grove. Next thing is Stream of Consciousness, give 50% more base chance for extra content, and we are blocking all of the other content except for the harvest. So again, if you take all of these things, I do believe you get harvest once per 3 maps. So after you take all of the harvest nodes, then you want to increase the amount of Lifeforce you get in a map. So all of the increased effect of maps and all of the quantity in the middle. And after that, everything else is kind of whatever. So I decided to go for the Searing Exarch altars and progression, the essences, and everything else I just spent on some small points for a chance to duplicate maps and some guardian maps. And a little bit of 2% chance for additional map. And that's basically it. In case you don't know what big harvest points do, this one increases the chance that you're gonna find tier 4 plant. And tier 4 plants are actually more common now, and they drop Sacred Blossom, which is key to Oshabi, and once you kill Oshabi you get the new Sacred Essence, which is used for, Sacred Lifeforce, which is used for powerful crafts. So if you get Sacred Blossom, it's basically worth around 50 chaos. So that was the setup for low investment strategy. In terms of map choice, I went for the atoll because it's actually very easy to find harvest in the atolls. And the way I was rolling it, I was using 4 chisels for 20% quality, then alchemy, and I was rolling for at least 80% quantity. I didn't want to invest too much, but you definitely can go much higher than the 80%. So this one is almost done. Last one. Let me use chaos to make it faster. Okay, so now all of them are 90% or 80% plus. And then I will check for bad mods like reflect, cannot regen, which are bads for my builds. So now everything is good, and I will just run the maps. So let me show you an example now. So in atoll, you want to just run through the middle, because most of the League mechanics, when they are gonna spawn, they're gonna just spawn in the middle, which is why I went for this map. Like very rarely, maybe like 10% of the time, they are gonna spawn to the sides. Because of the Yun in this map, there was a little bit of a different layout. Oh, and I got the garden map. But no harvest this time. So like I said, once per 3 maps. So let's do another one. Hopefully I'm gonna get it this time. I don't want to do too many maps in a video. And when I was doing this test at the beginning, I got pretty lucky. I was getting harvest almost every map. But then next like half of the test, I was getting like almost no harvest. I believe I actually got the average. Also altars are pretty good because sometimes you can get the quantity, which also increases the amount of life force you get. But I wouldn't go out of my way to like kill monsters to get more.
This way, exactly.
So in terms of choosing which plot to go for, first important thing is that the blue one is actually a bit cheaper than the other one. It's not that big of a deal to go for the blue ones. Usually you're gonna get around 1 C per 40 of these essences and 1 C per 45 or blue one. And actually it is actually going up in price, so maybe it's even like 35 and 40 now. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is you want to always go for the higher tier seeds. So gray ones are tier 1, white ones are tier 2, and this kind of like a light blue ones are tier 3. So whenever there's at least one tier 3, always go for at least one tier 3. And the same thing with tier 4, which would be a unique color, so like an orange.
I cannot do this yet.
Let me kill the monsters. And as you can see, you're not gonna get that much life force from normal monsters, but then you kill the big one, and you can see 85. And the other ones were only like 30, which is not even that much too also. So here I have one tier 3 here and here, so now I'm looking at the tier 2, so here is 4, here is 5, so I'm gonna go for the 5 one. Oh, and I got the proc of the Atlas passive, which made it not disappear, the second one. And decent amount of life force, let's do this one too. And yeah, I forgot about to talk about the rest of the Atlas points, what they do for harvest. Just realized. So like I said, this one is a 60% chance for tier 4 and 10% chance for basically what happened here to get the second one for free. And here you get 10% chance for additional monster, which is basically 10% more life force. Here 50% chance for additional harvest, which is basically one of these plots. And that's basically it. So let me take this, take that. And here there is 4 and 2, so 6. Here is 5, but this is a blue one, so it's kind of whatever. I'm gonna go for the yellow. Because again, it is a bit more expensive. The annoying part about the yellow ones though is that the monsters very often spread. Okay, and that's basically it. And now I would also finish them up. When I find the essence on my way, I would also kill the essences. And now let's kill a mob boss. Also tablet, same thing, if I find it on my way, I will do the tablets. So here, oh, it's pretty much over, so let's choose this one. And the map boss. So it is kind of like a boss rushing strategy, plus harvest and essences and tablet. Now let me talk about the second test, which is the high investment one. But also here you can see the loot that I got, so like 600 life force, so probably around 15k. So for high investment, I wanted to guarantee that I have harvest in every single map. This is why I went for the compass, which gives you sacred growth in every single map, which does cost right now around 55k, and it gives you 4 uses, so you're paying around, what, like 15c per harvest. On top of that, you can buy compass that gives you duplicated life force. You don't really care about which crops you get, blue, red or yellows, but the most important thing is to get duplicated life force. But actually when I did this test, I didn't realize that the blue life force is actually the cheapest one, so I was going for whatever life force I could, and if I did it again, I would probably go for the other ones if I can to maximize the profit. And the last one I went for, section, is guaranteed Guardian map drops, because for this strategy I decided to try out something different. I'm gonna show you the tree in a second, but I wanted to try out the Wandering Path, which gives small Atlas passive skills 100% increase effect. And this is important for Harvest because it's gonna duplicate all of the quantity in your maps, all of the increase effect of modifiers, and also all of the small points, which are, for example, in here, 3% increased quantity of Lifeforce. So for example, let me show you here. In total, you get 21%. So if you get the Wandering Path, that would be 42%. So that's pretty big. On top of that, obviously, other ones are also duplicated. But the issue with using Wandering Path is that, first of all, you no longer can use all of the blocks and so on, because they are the notable passives, and notable passives grant nothing when you take this, and this is why I decided to go for the guaranteed harvest with Wandering Path. And also you're not gonna have the notables for the harvest, so no more 10% chance for unchosen crop not to wield, and higher chance for tier 4 plants, no more additional monster, no more 50% for additional harvest. But overall, because you get increased quantity and all of the other perks, it should be a little bit better. And here, let me show you the full tree that I went for with this strategy. I took a screenshot before I did it. So as you can see here, still all of these points, all of the quantity, all of the duplication. And this is why I decided to go for the Shaper section, since if you are going for Wandering Path, all of the 0.5% chance to duplicate map are also going to be doubled. So in total you can get 18%, and with the, because here I didn't took all of them, so you can have 18% with Wandering Path. That's around 36, I think it might be even 37% chance to duplicate maps. So this synergizes very well with this sextant, so you can duplicate the Shaper Guardian maps. So yeah, I went for all of the increase effect, quantity, all of the duplication points, all of the small harvests, except for the ones that give a chance for the additional harvest. I actually went also for these ones, but I took the screenshot before this, but yeah, I forgot about this at first, but yeah, later I fixed it. And all of the other points, I just went for something that was helpful, but I didn't really super need it because there wasn't really anything else that I could go for. So I went for chance to drop the additional currency from map boss, Scarab, increase rarity, chance for additional maps, higher tier maps here and here, and for the shrines, just to have a little bit easier times in map. So that was the high investment strategy, overall going for Wandering Path. There is a lot of other different ways you can go for it. Some people have been telling me that they're trying this out with Grand Design, which gives a lot of pack size. You could obviously do some other combination, doing this high investment but without Wandering Path, basically with this tree. And also on top of that, if you are going for very high quantity, you can go for Wandering Path and maybe go for like expedition nodes, and also go for expedition, because expedition also gets a lot from the increased quantity and pack size in your map, so you can mix it with other strategies. But yeah, that was the high investment, these sextants plus Wandering Path tree. Okay, so now let me show you the results. So here is the tab without sextant. So overall, around 4,000 of each Lifeforce and 1 Sacred Blossom. I actually found 3 tier 4 bosses, I think, maybe even 4, I don't remember exactly. And so yeah, on average I found 1 Sacred Blossom in like 3 fights, and this is with the Heart of a Grove, right? And here's all of the other loots, some essences, actually quite a lot of essences from Vistas, from the essence points. And yeah, like quite a lot of other maps, and a little bit of Guardian maps and incandescent invitations. And now is the expensive test. So here you can see quite a lot of Guardian maps. In fact, I got 19 sets and 51,000 blue Lifeforce and like 15k and 10k of the other ones. So yeah, like I said, I didn't realize that this one is a bit cheaper. If I knew that it is a bit cheaper, I actually during my decision making which plot to go for, I would more often go for these ones, and I probably would end up with more like 25k and a little bit more of these, but I guess that's too late. And yeah, additional invitations and somewhat and quite a lot of maps, because with Wandering Path you're gonna, like I said, gonna get a lot of duplication points and a lot of the additional chance for maps, higher tier maps, and overall you're gonna get more harvest, so you're gonna kill more monsters. So I got actually a lot of maps this time. And so yeah, that's basically good. But obviously you have to remember that this is higher investment, so you're gonna pay more. So now let me show you the spreadsheet so we can see the actual numbers. So first let's look actually without the section. So this is the cheaper version. So I only did 50 maps. I was paying around 6k for the ATOLs, and no sextant has been used for this, so only 300 C investment. In total, it took me like 1 hour 40 minutes to clear this, and here is all of the loot that I got. So some 100 maps in Garden Maps, 300 C in Lifeforce, 600 C in loot, which is most of this loot is essences. And which basically means I made almost 5 divines, so 3 divines per hour, which is not that much, to be honest. Maybe if you combine it with some other strategies, just getting free harvest from time to time and just doing it might be worth it, but on its own, doing the strategy this way doesn't look that great. And here you can see all of the pricing for the Lifeforce and the Garden Maps. Now is the interesting one, which is with the sextant. So with the sextant, obviously much more expensive, 1.9k, and it took me much longer. So this time it took me 3.3 hours, because obviously I was encountering much more harvests. And here I actually did price shaper maps a little bit more, because without sextant I didn't get that many of them, so we're gonna sell them one by one. But if you get so many of them, you can actually sell them in bulk, which means you are gonna profit from the bulk prices on TFT, and you can sell them for basically 16.25 C per map, which basically means you're selling them for, I think it's like 65 chaos per set, and I got 76 maps, so 19 sets. So here's all of the profit from Guardian maps, and as you can see, it's definitely worth it to go for this section, because Shaper section it cost me 750 C and I gained 1.2k, which basically means I did profit 575 chaos from Garden Maps. In terms of Lifeforce, also you can see here that the sextants were around like 800, 900 chaos, so doubled basically my money with the Lifeforce. And here's additional loot. So in total I made 16 divines, which means I made 5 divines per hour, which is decent. It's not like crazy amount of money, but it is definitely much better than low investment. And like I said earlier, I decided to not invest fully. You can definitely also val your maps to get like 120, 140% quantity and a lot of pack size. And if you get the unidentified maps, you can combine it with the sextant that gives additional pack size if you are using unidentified maps. There are probably some other ways you can increase the amount of loot you are getting from maps. I actually also was using I forgot about that, I was using the fragments only for the high investment test, because I knew I'm gonna have harvest in every single map, so I think it was worth using them, so I was using 4 of them. If you know about any other juicing mechanics that are very nice for harvest, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, if you combine it with, like I said earlier, if you combine it with something like Expedition, maybe some other mechanics that benefit a lot from Wandering Path, you can probably make even more than this, because like I said, in this strategy you are juicing them up, so if you're doing another content that is also benefiting from juicing, it's a very nice combo. But for this video, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.